OnlyFans, TikTok, Instagram, you are seeing more hot women than your ancestors have ever in their entire life. In fact, you've probably seen more in about 5 minutes than they have in their entire life. So this is a problem. Why? Because we are seeing so many attractive women with so many followers, so many comments, so much attention that we put these women on a pedestal. So now we're not only putting them on a pedestal because they're attractive, but they have followers and they have influence as well. And this has become so dangerous. So now more than ever, men are putting these women on this pedestal to say, this girl is super hot, she's a smoke show, she's amazing, and they are idolizing her. Why is this a problem? Oh, let me count the ways. We'll start with this. When we put these women on a pedestal, you're instantly saying that you are not valuable. So I talked about this actually on a recent live that I did on YouTube, saying, how do you get a woman out of your league? But if we start saying that and start putting women in leagues, we're basically saying that we are out of their league and you're making yourself of a lesser value. That way, you will never be able to attract any kind of woman that you find attractive because you have put them to that large value, and you will show your desperation and low self-esteem almost instantly in conversation. But I digress. Let's talk about these 10s, these very attractive women that you are putting on a pedestal. One of the problems is guys don't think holistically about the woman who's attractive. Because of social media, OnlyFans, porn, all that stuff, they see a woman, they find her attractive, and boom, that's it. They almost put the woman's entire value and worth based on their looks. Now, I'm not sitting here on my soapbox trying to convince you otherwise, but what I am trying to say is that these women are more than their looks, which means that just because they're attractive, that doesn't mean that they are a 10. You need to be looking at it in a whole different way. Why is this gonna help? Well, one, it's hopefully gonna help you find an actual quality woman. And two, you're not gonna be so intimidated by these attractive women. So my big point is not all 10s are 10s. What I mean is, just because they're attractive, that doesn't mean that they have the full package. I have talked to, I have dated, I have been with so many women that you would call a 9 or a 10. And these women, most of these women, I should even say, are not the full package. In fact, a lot of these women have such poor self-esteem, have a disaster of a life, and are so concerned with looks that it's completely warped their mind that it is very unattractive to be with. You will find that out as soon as you start getting better and you start dating some of these more attractive women. Now, I must say, right, a 9 or a 10 is subjective. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. But still, these women have a lot of emotional issues. It is really difficult to sift through and find amongst all these attractive women, a woman who's actually going to be quality, one that's not going to be drama, one that's going to have high self-esteem, one that is not going to have any kind of emotional issues, bring baggage into the relationship. And so on this video, I want to give you some things to look out for if you ever happen to be with a woman that attractive, or really any woman in general. So what are these signs? First one, which I've already mentioned, low self-esteem. Signs of this can be her doing any sort of self-deprecating, so saying anything negative about herself, her having to take hours and hours to get ready, her getting really jealous over anything that's happening with you and any other woman, her focusing more on looks and material things over anything else. And there's a whole list of other things, but you will be able to tell. You will know when there is this lack of confidence. Now, you might not see it on a first date with an attractive woman. That might not happen. But as you get to know them, as you spend more time with them, as you date them, you are going to start to see that. Number 2, look out for, and I've categorized this pretty broad because there's a lot of examples that fall underneath this. We'll say disorganization. So any woman that shows a sign of being disorganized in their life, that can be trying to make ends meet, trying to make enough money. It can be their place is a complete disaster. That can mean that they're always late to things that you're inviting them to. They have a disaster of a schedule. They are just trying to run around and catch up. They're always playing catch up on their life. If you see signs of disorganization, If you see signs of self-esteem, run. Any woman, whether you call her average or you call her a 10, whatever attractive level that you're looking at, if she's showing those signs, this is going to be a lot of problems for you. And I'll tell you right now that getting laid and hooking up with a girl like this isn't worth it in the end, because it's just going to bring more drama into your life. And looks start to fade. You will find out that the more you date and the more that you're with women, that their personality starts to actually make a big difference on how attractive that they are. So maybe at first they're super attractive and you want to hook up with them, you want to date them, but you will find when they have a personality that starts to become a disaster, that they are not going to be that 9 or 10 any longer. And so I want you to look out for that and not be blinded by a woman's beauty and putting her on that pedestal.